Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a great start to your day. I wanted to hop on and talk to you guys about a dream that God gave me last night. That was a spiritual dream, and I wanted to kind of unpack this with you guys because it reveals a lot of the way that the devil tricks people and keeps them in a place of bondage in their life. And so this dream had to do with a friend that I had in real life back in the day. Haven't talked to this person in quite a while, and this is a person who in real life struggles with a lot of bondage and a lot of really tough stuff that they're dealing with. This is a person who has had multiple suicide attempts. This is a person who has been involved in some substance abuse, just like there's a lot of stuff going on in this individual's life. They've dealt with a lot of stuff. Okay. So she was a person who, in this dream, we were at this big kind of a college looking place. Okay. And I was there with my parents in this dream, and we were walking around and we were there for kind of a different purpose. Well, all of a sudden, this person from my past kind of comes up, and I didn't recognize her at first. And in the dream, it was like she kind of looks like her, but it's going to sound strange when I say this, but it looks like a prettier version of her. It's kind of like she had a filter on almost on her face or whatever. And so that's why I didn't recognize her. It's like it had her features, but it wasn't her features, kind of a thing. And she came up and I was like, oh, hey, it's good to see you. What are you here for? And she was like, oh, you're about to find out. And in the dream, it's like we found out that we were standing on this really big stage and there was this huge audience, that it just opened up to this gigantic auditorium and all these people were watching. And so this girl that I knew from my past walks up to the stage with another girl that kind of comes out of nowhere. And I'm like scrambling to get off the stage because I don't want to be in the limelight, steal their moment or whatever. And they start singing. And this girl in real life, she really loved music. And in the dream, she started to sing a duet with this other girl in front of this huge crowd. And her voice sounded different than real life. Like it sounded more polished, more refined, like just very... it was a really good voice. That's all I got to say. It was like phenomenal, And so she sang, and then she was being awarded this like trophy thing, just to honor her and honor all of this stuff. And I was like, wow, in that dream, I was like, this is a big deal for her, So then, we were like walking around in this area, kind of like behind the stage in this college setting. It was kind of strange. And there was like, all of this, I don't know how to describe it. It was like mold and leaks, and the area was in a lot of disrepair. It just was not good. And I think that is symbolic. I'll get into that more in a second. But the other thing about this was at the very end of the dream, after she was honored, after she was rewarded, it was like God told me in this dream that she had made like a pact with the devil. And basically the devil had told her, I will bless you with a really pretty appearance. I will bless you with everything you've ever wanted with this singing stuff. I'll give you fame. I'll give you honor, all of this stuff, if you just make an agreement with me. And if you will do that, I will bless you. And the open door was God showed me like in this dream, she had this like demonic altar set up at her house. And she had made this pact to serve Satan behind the scenes. And if she did that, he had said that he would bless her. Well, yes, she was experiencing all of this stuff in the dream, the fame, the notoriety, the really good voice, the, beauty filter kind of stuff, all of this stuff. But she was also dealing with incredible torment in her life, the suicidal stuff. She was dealing with major sickness. She was dealing with major areas where she was just being pelted by the enemy all at the same time because she opened the door to this stuff. And so all of that to say, this is what the dream means, and this is what I want to tell you guys about, because this stuff actually happens in the music industry today, believe it or not. A lot of celebrities, people that you see, they will actually go and sell their soul to the devil, create these altars, get in pacts and stuff, and they will get some legit perks for it. They will, even some supernatural abilities sometimes, because demons, can cause stuff like that to happen, but it's never a true blessing. Whenever the devil makes you a in agreement or tries to bless you in your life, there's always a catch. It's like that fish hook that I tell you guys about, right? He tries to hook you to make you think that you're in control. He'll make it seem like it's bright and, shiny and all of this stuff at the get-go. But then there's always a catch to it, ladies and gents. And there's multiple catches, right? His ultimate thing is he wants you enslaved to him for the rest of your life so that you'll never make it to heaven, right? If all it's going to take is you being distracted here on this earth, and all he's got to do to keep you from coming to Jesus is to give you everything that you think you want here on this earth, of course he'll do that. The devil has no problem, quote unquote, blessing people with houses and cars and abilities and all the stuff like the girl had in this dream, as long as it keeps them away from Jesus. But there's always a catch. The devil cannot purely give good gifts, okay? They may appear good and have good aspects to them, but the devil, the fruit is always going to be bad. There's always a hook in your life, right? And you may not always see it from the get-go. Usually you see this stuff when you're farther into it and when it's too late. He's already got you, right? And so this girl in this dream, she was kind of living out her dream. The devil was allowing her to, because she had made this pact with him in this dream. She had this demonic altar. She was in a covenant with the devil, so to speak. And she was getting all of these things that her heart truly desired. The better singing voice, she was getting, the beauty filter, the light, dress up and all of this stuff. And she was getting the accolades, the praise from people that she had always wanted. And yet she was miserable in her personal life. She had no idea the cost to this. And I want to tell you guys, the devil will try to bless you in your life. But when he does that, there is always, always, always a catch. Okay. And so don't get distracted by that stuff. Wait for God to bless you his way in your life. Amen. Because this stuff is demonic and it is real and it is happening in everyday life. And I don't know if this dream was purely symbolic because I haven't talked to this person in years, or if this is something that they have actually done. But regardless, I can tell you guys, this exact same stuff is going on today. And not just in Hollywood, although it is in Hollywood, it's going on in people's personal lives. And so I want to tell you guys today, when the devil tries to offer you something, even if it seems super appealing to your flesh, your job is to say no deal. This stuff is not going to fly. And then God has a good plan for your future. But the difference is when he blesses you, there's no hook, right? When he blesses you, it's going to purely be good for you. But you got to be willing to wait on his timing. And you've got to be willing to say a full yes to God. Amen. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll chat with you again soon.